Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and this is going to be my review for the first two episodes of 24, Season 9. I'm going to say Season 9 because basically it's just a continuation of the next season, even though it's called Live Another Day. I'm just going to say 24, Season 9, Episode 1, and Episode 2. Now, let me just explain something. I never saw 24 when it originally came on, so, I wasn't too familiar with this show. However, I was really looking forward to it because I wanted to see it, I wanted to see how it was, and it was awesome. I will say, I think that, I think both episodes were definitely really good, in my opinion. It was definitely really great. Episode 1 was great, and Episode 2 was great. And one of the things that I do love about the show, before I get to, what happened in it, is the way they do the time is, they say these events take place in real time. What they mean that is, whatever time it is on your clock, that's what time it is in the show. And that's what's so awesome. Because they somehow find a way to do that, and I find that awesome, and I love that about this show. So, I'm definitely going to continue to watch it. Let's get to my review. So, at the very beginning, already, it's very intense. We're in East London. A man is walking through an outdoor market. He makes eye contact with another man. They walk near each other. Then one follows the other. A third guy joins them. There's this other guy that joins them. And the analyst, a white guy and an Asian. So, at the London CIA station, the analysts discuss satellite tracking in real time. Kate is packing up her desk when another woman reminds her that she needs her passcodes and inscription keys before she leaves at the end of the week. So, Mariana tells Kate that they have their eyes on a high-value suspect, and it's of particular interest because the president is in town. So the guys at the market meet up with another guy and arm themselves. The CIA sends out a little rolling drone and obtains a positive ID. The armed men watch a train go by. They then break into a warehouse. They raid the place the CIA is watching, tell the CIA the targets are on the run. The agents pursue them. Steve Navarro watches from the monitoring station as a man takes out one of the agents, looks into their little rolling drone, and Navarro says it's Jack. And Jack Bauer, as soon as he was introduced, I'm like, this is the ultimate badass right here. He looks right into the camera, knocks that camera out, but it's not the only one. He knocks out two agents, takes out their weapons, takes out a third. Then someone takes a shot at him. Jack ducks out of the way, hides, then returns fire, takes off at a run, ducking shots. Kate tells them that Jack will head for the roof, but instead he runs outside. She says that that doesn't make sense, and Navarro calls her down. Jack runs to the market, then out toward the river, pursued by the CIA agents. Jumps over a bridge, hops down, but there's a raft with two more agents headed to him. He's surrounded on all sides. They order him to his knees. He compiles, puts his hand behind his head. The agents tell Navarro, we got him. So it's kind of like I feel like he wanted to be caught. It seems like that's how it felt with Jack in that scene, that he wanted to be caught. So, we then get the intro and everything when them saying, these events take place in real time. The times are 11:06. And the cool thing was, it was 8:06 when this was going on. It was really cool the way they did that. And President Healer is told by Mark that the Brits are not happy with the drone program. Healer says he's not happy about it either, but they're working. They may lose one of their foreign bases because there's a threat that won't renew their release. And Healer tells him he has to work on his speech and excuses his staff. Mark approaches the president, corrects him about an anecdote, telling him it was Teddy, not Franklin, that he was referring to. Healer tells him he has a career ahead of him on Jeopardy. Mark gets a call from Navarro to tell him they nabbed Jack Bauer, and Mark gets floored and asks if he's sure. He asks where he was caught and says he was in London near a factory. Now, Mark says it can't be a coincidence. He tells Navarro that Jack killed diplomats and tried to assassinate a president, and Mark says Jack is a psychopath, and Mark says he may be there to do the president and the others harm. Navarro says he's going to interrogate him, and Mark says they need to take more drastic measures to get information out of him, even torturing him possibly. They basically mean to torture him, and he tells Navarro to keep Bauer's presence on a need-to-know basis, and Ron Clark asks if they should tell the president, and he says no. So Kate sits at her desk, working furiously on her computer. She tells Navarro that apprehending Jack was a big win. He tells her he hates to lose her and says it's not her fault. She shows him the building layout and says it doesn't make sense because he didn't go to the roof where he could easily escape. He says maybe he didn't know, but Kate thinks Jack is up to something. Jack is riding in the back of a CIA car, and they pass protesters pull into a U.S. Air Force base in Lyford. The soldier runs to a secured area, is told to call Major Shepard, who sounded angry. These guys are drone operators. They switch seats for the new guy to take over. The other guy wishes him luck with Shepard and leaves. In the Kajai province in Afghanistan, a military convoy comes through, and it's Tanner calling Shepard to get authorization to fly cover over their mission. So Shepard revokes Tanner's weekend pass and tells him to get on it. Tanner hangs up, calls him a bastard. Navarro tells Marion to get Bauer in a conference room as soon as he comes in, and he's going to try to interrogate him before the torture guys come to take him away. So Kate sees Bauer on the security feed as she's shredding documents. He's marched in 11:18 a.m., and Kate sees him through her office window as they take Jack to interrogation. So Kate runs out, tells Eric that it was a good grab, and she asks for some of the intel that led to finding him. He asks her about a roof theory, and she says she just wants to look. He tells her that she's not cleared for it and walks away. Another tech points her to a video feed from interrogation where Jack is seated and cuffed, and it's really intense here. And Eric tells Navarro that Kate wanted to see the intercept that led them to Jack. And he says he didn't show it to her. Eric says they wanted him to know. And Navarro says she was a good agent and he could learn from her. Eric reminds him that her husband was selling secrets to the Chinese, and Navarro reminds him she didn't know. He tells Eric to cut her some slack while she's still there. Kate looks at a note from her husband at the back of the picture at the two of them that says, "I love you." Jordan comes to tell her that he pulled the intercept from her. He tells her she deserves to be there, and he says her husband Adam proved otherwise. And, it's kind of sad there. Because she wants to leave, but he's trying to convince her not to leave. Meanwhile, Jack is stripped to the waist, hooked to a lie detector machine, and the operator tells Navarro that it's uncanny how steady his readings are. Navarro says he's going to shake him up. He goes in with Jack, asks if he's there to harm the president. He says he's going to a special activities for enhanced interrogation. Navarro says all they will see is a guy who snapped and went on a revenge spree after being a hero. He says he's been labeled a criminal and a terrorist, and Jack's readings still stay stable. So Navarro tells him that talking to him is his best option. He tells him to tell him why he's in London, and maybe he can stop special activities from getting him. At special activities, they got Jack's files, and then the guy goes into a security room where Chloe is being held. Yes, we finally saw Chloe again. And the guy shoots her up with a drug that makes her scream in pain and tells him to go to hell. So it's crazy here at this point. Mark looks at a rooster of Bauer's confirmed kills when his wife calls to him, Audrey, and she tells him that she's almost ready and asks for him to bring her jewelry box. He does, and when he sees her, he says, wow. He pulls out a necklace and puts it on Audrey's neck. He tells her she shouldn't go to the reception because she looks so good. She'll distract from the politicians. Turns out he's married to the president's daughter, who is also Jack's ex-girlfriend, which is pretty big. So she asks how her dad is doing, and he says he's doing well. Whatever mental thing that he got into is supposed to manifest for another year. So he says he thinks he will be okay. Ron comes in to give Mark an update on Bauer. It's 11:30, and he says special activities should have Bauer shortly. Mark says after they get what they can from him, he could disappear. And he says the Russians want his head, and they could clandestinely hand him over. Ron says they should check with the president, and Mark says he wasn't there and doesn't know what Jack put Audrey through. Mark says she will never hear the name Jack Bauer again. Mark tells him to get to him what he needs and leaves with his wife and the president for their event. So they walk outside where protesters are waving signs, opposing the drone attacks and screaming that they're killing children by remote control. They get into their cars, the convoy pulls out with police escorts, and Navarro continues to talk to Jack and tells him he's almost out of options. He says after he's transferred, he can't help him. He says he arranged for Jack to see his daughter Kim, and he tells Jack she's had another baby, a boy. Kate asked Jordan about the intercept, and they found out it came from an internet cafe. It's just 3 blocks from where Bauer was hiding. Kate thinks Bauer sent the message himself, and Jordan asks why he would do that, and she says they need to find out. So Kate bursts in and tells Navarro that she needs to talk to him. He steps out and tells him it better be good. She tells him the intercept was planned and came 3 blocks from where Jack was found because he wanted to be caught. She basically says he wanted to be caught, which we assumed he wanted to be caught. He did. And Basically, she says that's why he didn't go to the roof. She says they need to ask him that. Mariana brings the transfer orders, but Kate bursts into interrogation, locks the doors, and she tells Jack she knows he sent the intercept and asks why he wanted to be at the facility. She demands to know what or who or what he's after. Navarro bursts in, tells her she's done. She shows him the lie detector where she got him to Spike, and Kate says they need to find out why he's there. So Navarro tells her that she's trying to work through her betrayal with Adam by taking it out in the Bauer situation. She tells him that Bauer's exactly where he wants to be, and Navarro tells her that she's done here and tells security to escort her out. She tells him that by ignoring this, he's making a huge mistake because Jack is a violent criminal at this point. You know, he really is. He's a violent criminal, and that's basically what she says. So Jack is escorted out of interrogation by Eric. He still hasn't spoken a word, and he's not telling them anything, basically. He has not said a single word to them. So they're kind of like, you know, why isn't he saying anything to us? But he's escorted out of interrogation by Eric. He still hasn't spoken a word, and Kate is escorted out by security. Then she grabs a taser, knocks the guard out, drags him into a main room, calls Jordan. He asks where she is. She tells him he needs to find out if anyone in the building has a prior history with Jack. He tells her he'll check and call her. And on the street, a guy dressed as a utility worker messes with a power box. Eric tells Jack he used to study his mission and training. Brings him to special activities, calls Dean. Jack presses the button that's implanted under his skin. The guy at the power box disrupts the power there. Jack attacks him, takes out Eric and the other guard. Dean is on the way down to get Jack. He works on his handcuffs. Dean opens the door, finds Jack with a gun in his hand, tells Dean, take me to her now. They go through some quarters, then stop at the door. Jack tells him that he needs to know who he is and that he will blow his head off. He orders him to open the door. Jack looks in, sees Chloe strapped to a table. He brings Dean in as if he did to her. Jack gives him a mini beatdown and then goes to check on Chloe, who is dead to the world. Searches the med, stabs a shot into her heart. She sits up gasping. He tells her it's alright. She asks why he's there, and he says they have to go. He unstraps her. She gets wobbly to her feet. Jordan calls Kate, tells her that Chloe is a free information hacker who's been charged with treason. And Navarro asks why they're on lockdown. He says that Jack is breaking free and Kate is down there. Navarro is shocked to hear Kate on the loose. She takes a shot at Jack after he stows Chloe safely away. He undoes a gas valve and takes a shot, causing a good-sized explosion that forces Kate back. His accomplice and the power box guy is on the roof. And Kate can finally fall. Has Jack in her sights. She tells him to drop his weapon. He compiles. He turns and looks at her. He puts his hands behind his head. Then she orders him to his knees, and he complies. She asks where O'Brien is. Jack pushes the button under his skin again. His rooftop buddy shoots a grenade at the building, blows a hole in the roof. This knocks Kate down. The guy puts a ladder through the hole, and then Jack and Chloe go through the hole, pull the ladder up. Kate gets up, pursues, but it's too late. They are on the roof and speeding away. It's a van. There's a van with them hiding in the back, and the accomplice driving. Kate takes a couple of shots, but the van turns the corner and is out of range. So she puts her hands on her head and asks what he wants to do. Healer says he wants to lock up the treaty with the British and says he'll talk to Mark when the time is right. Navarro is looking at the damage Jack wrought at the facility, and Jordan says they're not back up, and Eric says they set up a search grid and are calling in off-duty officers. So Kate says you won't find him because he knows all their procedures, and Kate says they need to look up at the intel on Chloe, and they may crack it, and Eric tells her that she's not part of the group anymore, and she asks to speak to Navarro in private. So Kate asks him to put her back into the field, let her find Jack. She tells him she's his best shot to get him. She tells him she knows she didn't know Adam was a traitor, but she did know about this and is inside Jack's head. She tells him that if anyone found out she warned him and he didn't listen and this happened, it would be bad. And he asks if she's threatening him, and she says she's just asking to find Jack. And he asks Belchek if he has a signal from her phone. He says yes. Belchek asks Jack why he didn't just ask her for her help, and he says because she might have said no. Belchek says he thought they were friends, and Jack says he has no friends, which is kind of sad, although Chloe kind of is his friend. Chloe ambles down the street looking weak and disheveled, and the drone operator Tanner watches the maps and terrain as he files the drone about Shepard's convoy. The missile fires, and Shepard stares up stupidly as his mission hits his vehicle, takes them all out. Surviving soldiers run up to try and pull out the wounded and dead. The drone screen says target destroyed, and a man is on the phone and tells someone else it's done. So, very strange phone call there. The riots continue as Healer stands out the window and the protesters waving their anti-drone signage, and it's now 12 o'clock, so that means the next episode goes on, which I will talk about in a few minutes, because I feel like I should do, like, I feel like I should stop, because there were 2 separate episodes, so I will do that. But this was a very good first episode. I really enjoyed the first episode. A lot of really intense stuff. The sad thing is that Jack doesn't have any friends. I think that's kind of sad. Can we trust Kate? I'm not really sure if we can trust Kate at this point. Also, what was that phone call about? I don't really know. I mean, I have seen the second episode, but I'm going to answer those questions in the second episode. But that's it for my review of the first episode of 24, Live Another Day. Let me know what you guys thought of it. That's it for my review. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in my next video, which will be for the second episode. So I'll see you guys for that. Bye.